Welcome to 50 Nights of Fright. I'm Tommy, joined again with Zach.
Help!
Today we are talking about The Devil Rides Out. You hadn't even heard of this movie before this, had you?
No, I do know it's based on a book.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I didn't. I hadn't heard of the book or the movie though, which is crazy because a lot of old horror novels I know a lot about. But
Well, this was just one of those like Hammer horror movies that just never got a lot of play here in the U.S. During the 60s, Hammer was like cranking out horror movies.
is that a person? I hadn't heard of that term before you just said it.
Oh, Hammer Horror?
Yeah.
No, it was a company that produced a lot of the Christopher Lee Draculas,
Oh, okay.
the Christopher Lee Frankensteins.
I just like working with Christopher Lee.
Well,
So, I mean, you have a lot of directors that have their favorite cast.
well, Christopher Lee was basically responsible for keeping Hammer in just
Business.
Yeah, keeping them in business for
Okay.
years, and it was because of his performances as Dracula, as the creature in Frankenstein, and this.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of The Devil Rides Out?
It felt like a fantasy story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fiction, but it felt like because you were saying earlier, Christopher Lee is the good guy in this movie, which is a change, but also it feels like damsel in distress, classic,
Yeah,
which is honestly a lot of modern horror, or not modern, but like 80s to like early 2000s horror was you have a female in trouble and a dude trying to save them till you got to right to the early 2000s, and then you had a few like Texas Chainsaw and stuff like that, or reboots and stuff like that where the female was kind of the one. But yeah, it just felt very fantasy-esque, which made the story kind of easy to follow for me because I love fantasy stuff, and that, since it typically goes like that, I was like, oh, okay, I can get behind this. I understand.
Yeah, what I really love about it is casting Christopher Lee against type. Where he's typically seen as the villainous character.
Yeah.
In this one, he plays the good guy. I mean,
Yeah.
even as playing the good guy, I mean, he still has that kind of a dark look.
Oh, yeah.
And very.
He's anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like, he gives anti-hero hardcore. And I will say, when I first started watching, since I didn't know anything about it, when I first started watching it, when I saw Christopher Lee show up, I'm like, oh, he's the bad guy. I thought some way it was going to wrap around to some twist where Christopher Lee was like the bad guy the whole time.
The
Like
whole
once
time,
the ritual starts or something, he shows up. And then she is like, "Oh, he's gonna save me," and then he turns out to be that. No.
That never happens. So no, it's great in that a lot of the characters in this are just they're well rounded. I like them very much. Like the character of Rex. He starts off as a skeptic. Like he doesn't believe any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he sees it and he's like, I believe, that's it. Now he's like, he goes from complete skeptic to complete believer. Like, this is some bad stuff going on. And I feel like I would probably be the same way if I started seeing some serious witchcraft stuff going on like that. Charles Gray as Makata, the villain, is he's very charming. He's got that very suave voice.
Sounds like a cult leader.
He's got a very
Charismatic.
Yeah, charismatic. Also like a snarky feel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very smug. You want to see him.
Yeah, kind of like a d-bag.
Yeah, you want to see him get punched, and in
Yeah.
this movie he gets decked,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like just
It
dropped.
felt like a Wicker Man, the Wicker Man scene or whatever, where Nicolas Cage Wicker Man, where he goes up and
Just punch, just dropped like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
I loved that. It was so much fun.
Because they build him up to be such a crazy, like, they build him up to be such this, this larger than life person that just gets knocked out.
Yeah, it's great to show that. I mean, even though he's in charge of this cult, he is just a man.
Yeah.
He is a man.
Yeah,
They're trying to bring about.
Angel of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a fun experience, beginning to end. The end does get kind of weird to follow because there's like a dream sequence where they're fighting.
Yeah, I was a little off-put by that whole section because at first I was like, "What?" It feels so far removed from the rest of the movie, from the feeling of the rest of the movie that I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah. I feel like the ending could have been tooled a little bit differently, but I still, the way that it wraps up, happy ending for all of them.
It's classic damsel in distress happy ending.
Yeah. The little girl is fine, so
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about her, and even the main love interest girl that he falls in love with like after seeing her twice. And
Yeah.
so been there.
Felt.
But yeah, it gives a great happy ending, and the villains are stopped. They get their comeuppance, and of course Christopher Lee just is like, that's it. My job's done, and
Let's go.
Yeah. So having just experienced it for the first time, was there a scene that's still with you?
I think the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
How it starts in the beginning and everything, and definitely that part definitely stuck out to me just because of set design and costume design.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really cool. It felt like a cult, like kind of cheesy almost a little bit, not in a bad way, but just felt like what you would envision as a kind of not well put together cult ritual moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything looked cool, and then obviously gets crashed. But definitely felt, but it felt scary too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a little bit of tension and anxiety in me for her, because I was like, oh, like this is about to go down, like really close to happening. and then whatever happens. But that scene I think was the coolest to me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help that it helps that it was followed by a man getting knocked out. But yeah, that was probably the scene that sticks out to me the most.
All right.
That, or like the kind of toward the end there, where it feels like a damsel in distress was saved moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like a, oh, my hero kind of moment,
Mm-hmm. But now, as a lesser-known horror movie on this list, having watched it now, do you think The Devil Rides Out belongs in this history of horror, this 50 Nights of Fright, or would we be better suited replacing it with something else?
Well, it's a good taste of, when did this come out, like 60s or something like that?
Yes, yeah.
It felt like a 60s horror movie,
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like, I don't know for sure what came after it and everything, but I could definitely see moments inspired by something like this, because when I was watching it, it felt like other 60s horror movies where like I'm used to watching.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of modern things in this movie compared to some that I was like, oh, okay, this definitely feels like it inspired some stuff.
It feels familiar in a way without having ever seen it.
Yeah. So especially if it did inspire some of the stuff that I feel like it probably did. It almost felt like a Rob Zombie movie, just too old to be a Rob Zombie movie.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I think just for that alone, I think it deserves a spot, because that, I don't know what you would call his style of horror, but that style of horror is big now. Ever since he started doing it, and some other like kind of gorier movies and stuff like this wasn't super gory or anything, but it felt like that style.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so I think it deserves a spot.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are we giving The Devil Rides Out?
I give it a 6.
A 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. I had a better time watching this one than I did with some of them, but again, I think that was because of familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Christopher Lee.
All right. So a 6 from Zach is closer to an 8 for an average person. So it's high praise.
Yeah, 6 is good. 6 is good for me.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us while we talked about The Devil Rides Out. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Join us again tomorrow, where we're going to be covering George Romero's The Night of the Living Dead.